not looking at the facts. The U.S. attorney is not looking at the law. The U.S. attorney is simply looking at a defendant, a situation, and that one attorney, for sure, I think is fair to say this about, and he feels some type of way about it. And he's going to do anything he can to get his way and prove, that in his head, he's on the side of right and the defense is on the side of the wrong. And that's crazy, man. I was really embarrassed as an American citizen, as an officer of the court, that U.S. attorney acted that way. I'm glad that the judge saw it and she admonished him. Frankly, NBA Youngboy is probably happy that guy acted the way he did, because after he showed out like that, there's no way the judge wasn't going to give him a bond. I mean, that U.S. attorney really dropped the ball, really fumbled it, really embarrassed it. How did YB look like? YB looked, he's standing tall. Let's go live with some people, see what your questions are. All right, who should we bring in here? Who we bringing in? Somebody? I got. There's too many requests. I can't even see them. All right, let's bring Nessie in. I don't know if the two-person is going to work because my signal's really low. Oh shit! Here we go. What's up, Nessie?
Oh hey! Oh my God!
What's going on? Are you as disgusted as I am with the conduct of that U.S. attorney? That's not gonna work. Was he Youngboy was excited. It was dope. So what happened was, the judge is like, at the end of the hearing, the judge is like, all right, I'm gonna step outside. I'm gonna, take a recess for 15 minutes. And when I come back, I'm gonna issue a decision on the bond. And so everybody was in court waiting. I would have bet anything. I told Drew Findling, I was like, Drew, I'll bet you anything he's gonna get this bond. Because the way I was looking at it, I was like, she's definitely gonna give him the bond. I'll bet anything. He's like, oh, I don't know. So then she comes back in, and when she comes back in, she starts reading her decision. And so she goes over what happened, what's happened since he got arrested, so on and so forth. And then she goes into what happened at the hearing, and she announces her decision. She says, I'm going to grant a bond with these conditions. And she starts listing all the conditions. And then Drew Findling is, he puts his arms on the table. He's sitting right across from NBA Youngboy, and Youngboy's kind of looking around like, oh shit, this is crazy, I'm getting a bond. And Drew Findling is just arms on the table, and he's just looking right at NBA, waiting for him to catch his gaze. And he's got a big smile on his face because he knows what he did. He knows that he delivered this dude a bond. And so he's just looking at him, and then Youngboy sees him looking right back at him, and Youngboy's like, he puts his hand, he's had handcuffs on, but he picks up his hands. He gives him a little dap across the table. He's like, yo, you did it, Drew. You got me out on the bond. It was dope. I'm sure he's very excited. His whole family was there. He deserves to be out. He deserves to be out. Absolutely. This is a status offense. It's not a violent crime. They're saying that he held a gun he touched a gun in a music video on or in front of his grandfather's house. That's his crime. Touching a gun in a music video on or in front of your grandfather's house for a couple seconds. And so he's done close to 200 days in prison for that. And they want to not only keep him in prison longer, they want to send him away for like 5-6 years. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, he deserves to be out, and him and his family should be very happy about it. He's still got the dreads. He's got the sort of bowl dread, like twist dreads. I don't know, but he got all his hair. He looks like he's getting he looks like he's getting regular cuts because it was tight. Everybody wants to know how his hair looked. Can we get some questions other than his hair? So they had him masked up. It was intense. The first 2 days, they had two masks. They had a regular mask and they had the N95 on top of it. Looked like they had a muzzle on the guy. It was kind of ridiculous. Today, they took off the N95, so he just had one mask. I don't know if that has to do with like COVID testing or what. But when he had the double masks on, I mean, they have him shackled at the hands. Then they got the double mask. It's too much. He's not a violent criminal. I don't know if his kids can stay with him. I'm guessing he is going to have to tell pretrial, who his immediate family is that he lives with in his residence. So he probably has the right to say, these are my kids, this is my partner or my wife or whatever he wants to say, and keep a certain number of people in his family in his residence like that. But I don't think he could have like everybody. I'm not quite sure. We'll see what happens. He has definitely not gained weight. There was a jail fight. The jail fight issue came up. That's a good question. There was a jail fight, and the judge, she said, look, I watched the video for the jail fight. I don't think it's that serious. I don't think it has anything to do with his bond. So that could mean two things. One, either the jail fight was just a very minor scuffle, nothing too crazy, or two, it was self-defense. And so if the judge is looking at the video and she sees that it's self-defense or she sees that it's very minor, she's like, whatever, it's all good. I'm not having an issue with this. Is he allowed access to his bank? He's allowed access to all his money. I mean, he's going to have to put up a bond, but other than his bond, his money is his money. Yeah, I know some of the families say he ain't coming out. When you're in court, it kind of it goes back and forth. And so I think somebody posted earlier today that, it's not looking good or he's not getting out. And that was just kind of before it was all said and done. And there were moments in the hearing today when you might look at it and go, oh man, he's not going to get out. But at the end of it, he's out. He's getting out. The bond is $1.5 million with collateral. So it's like $1.5 million worth of property that you pledge, or $500,000 cash. Who won the fight? That's a good question. We don't know. You got to ask the judge. The judge saw the video. I don't know who won that fight. My best guess is the fight was self-defense or it was a very small fight. That's why the judge said this ain't no big deal. I'm also assuming the judge understands that fights happen in prison. It doesn't make someone ineligible for a bond. We had some good questions. Let's get some more good questions. Yeah, the judge is definitely going to get on here. Although, when I did the 6-9 case, that one judge, Judge Engelmeyer, he confirmed that he was watching Instagram and he had seen the memes and he was all over. He had followed along and seen it. That he did say that. Yeah, I don't know why it's not recorded. $500,000 cash. DJ Vaughn, is $500,000 cash or 1.5 million worth of houses? You could do either. You could put up 1.5 mil of your property, or you could show up with you have the deeds and an appraisal. You say, I own, Boardwalk. Boardwalk got appraised last week for 2 mil. I pledge this house. If I don't show up to court, you could keep this deed. So you could do that, or you could come up with $500,000 cash, leave the $500,000 cash, and they'll let you go. Either one, deeds or cash. When will trial start? That's a good question. I mean, I haven't met Youngboy. I feel like I met everybody around Youngboy. I would never address him directly in court because he's the defendant and because it's up to him. If he wanted to say something to me, I would definitely love to talk to him, but I wouldn't go and come up to him. That's an invasion of privacy. Look, court is an open court. It's a public proceeding. People are going to report on what's going on. But when you're in court, that doesn't necessarily then give people the ability to come up to you and just start throwing questions at you. That's just not what I'm trying to do. So about the trial. So we don't know when the trial will be. What's going to happen from here, the next steps in this case, in the middle of November, probably like November 15, somewhere around there, both sides, the government and the defense, will submit briefs. A brief is a written argument. So they're going to write down all their arguments and they're going to cover what happened at the hearing, and they're going to say so-and-so testified this and so-and-so testified that, and so for all these reasons you should grant our motion, or for all these reasons you should deny the motion. So those briefs will get submitted sometime in the middle of November, and then the judge will decide when she decides. She might decide very quickly. She might decide, boom, right then and there. She might decide in December. She might decide in January. But at that point, we're going to know a lot more. Once she decides, a couple of things can happen. One, She might rule in favor of Youngboy, throw out all the evidence against him, and Youngboy walks. Two, she might throw out some of the evidence against him while letting some of the other evidence stay in. And if that happens, that could open the door to some sort of settlement, some sort of plea bargain where the government says, all right, just plead guilty. We'll give you time served, or we'll give you, a small sentence. And they might take it at that point if it's, better. I'm sure they've made offers right now. I don't know what they are. Some offer would have been made, and they've obviously rejected it. But if the dynamics change, if some of the evidence gets thrown out, the offer might get better, and then the defense might take it. What other questions do you guys have? I don't know what time exactly he would get released or when. He has to be in Utah because the judge thinks that if he was in Baton Rouge, that he would continue to sort of get in trouble and sort of invite and be involved in criminal activity. She just thinks that he's had too many problems in Baton Rouge and that he can't be out there on bond. Am I in Morgan City right now? I don't know. Yeah, everybody go to OG33's IG. Apparently, Youngboy is live on that. Let's go check that out. Peace.